Hi, my name is Madeline, and today we are going to be learning about the synoptic gospels. What are they? Who wrote them? How should we read them? And why are they important? What are the synoptic gospels? The synoptic gospels are the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and the Gospel of John. Why are the gospels important? The gospels are important for many reasons. There are several popular stories in the Gospels, such as the Lord's Prayer, the Great Sermon, Passover, the foot washing, and popular characters: Peter, James, John, Nicodemus, Lazarus, Mary Magdalene, Joseph, just to name a few. So, who are Matthew, Mark, and Luke? In the book of Matthew was in fact one of the disciples. The book of Matthew was believed to be originally written in Aramaic or Hebrew, and was written in between the years of 40 to 140 AD. Matthew was in fact one of the disciples. The book of Matthew was believed to be originally written in Hebrew or Aramaic. Matthew was in fact one of the disciples. The book of Matthew was believed to be originally written in Hebrew or Aramaic. And it was also believed that it was written in between the years of 40 to 140 AD, after death. The early church believed that the book of Matthew was the first gospel to be written. This later proved to be false, and most scholars believe that Mark was written first. The book of Mark. Mark was actually not a disciple. The book of Mark. Mark was actually not a disciple of Jesus, but a disciple of Peter. Peter told Mark about the works of Jesus and guided him through writing the self-titled book. Mark was written between the years of 55 to 70 AD. Some scholars believe that Mark was the first gospel to be written, while others believe Matthew was the first. It is still in debate till this day. The book of Luke. Luke was written around 62 AD. Just like the book of Mark, Luke was not an eyewitness to the words of Jesus. Luke was a companion of Paul, who wasn't a disciple of Jesus either. When Luke speaks of them, he is referring to those who had encounters with Christ. Luke was also a physician who saw the world in great detail, therefore later on becoming a trusted historian. Now, let's talk about the book of John. The writer of John did witness many acts of Jesus. You can tell this by the way the book is written. John does not mention the destruction of the Jewish temple. Some think it's because he didn't focus on works, but focused on the miracles and the words of Christ. There's no accurate date on when the book of John was written. Now that we have a little bit more knowledge about who Matthew, Mark, Luke, and even John were, let's take a look at how we should read the four Gospels. The first way is vertically. Yes, vertically. From the beginning to the end, grasping all of the information given in the correct order, making sure no details are missed. Second way is horizontally, taking time to thoroughly read the material, comparing their accounts in each book to one another, paying special attention to what is similar and what is different. Okay, let's imagine for a second that the Bible didn't have the Gospels. What would that look like? What would be different? There'd be no Last Supper, there'd be no Lord's Prayer, there'd be no Great Sermon, and all of those are very important scriptures. What we shouldn't do is read them harmoniously. If you bring all four of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, together, you risk losing important data in the timeline and the story. Let's imagine for a second that the Bible didn't have any of the Gospels. What would that look like? What would be different? There'd be no Last Supper, there'd be no Lord's Prayer, there'd be no Great Sermon, all things that are very important to scriptures. Now what? In conclusion, now what? The Gospels play a critical way in what we believe, our morals as Christians, ethics, and even our behaviors. Now that you have a little bit more knowledge on the Gospels, how to read them, who wrote them, why they're important, you might have a better understanding of reading the Gospel.